going to be installing a kid match barrel into my 1022 receiver here. The barrel's down in the freezer, sitting at about 4 degrees Fahrenheit, getting nice and cold, so hopefully it'll slide in a little easy. I took a couple pokes at it, the barrel and the receiver, and it's obvious it was going to be a really tight fit. So, first step, kid says remove any paint or material from the inside of the receiver. So AR-15 chamber brush actually worked out pretty good. I was using an old, just old regular bore brush, and was scraping out the inside, and then decided I need to do something about this barrel, this part here, and the 1022 barrel is going to be tight in here too. So AR-15 chamber brush worked really nice. So I got it. I don't know if you can really see it. This whole thing is coated. I mean, we got this nice coating on the outside. Well, and then you look at it on the inside, and it's coated as well. I mean, it's coated all over. It looks like it might have been dipped, including here and in where the barrel goes. The factory barrel fit reasonably snug. Since I've removed the paint from the inside, the factory barrel is noticeably looser. So no going back, which probably won't be a problem. Other things I've got: level, and I got a little. I'm going to try and do it without a vise. I've got my rifle cradle over here. I've got some anti-seize. Had this laying around in the hopes of building an AR-15, maybe one day. And we got this nice rubber mallet. It's kind of bigger, but you know, you don't want to hit something harder. You want to get a bigger hammer. So that's why I got the big dog here. So I'll be back with the barrel. It's going to be a little frosty. It's cold. Pulled it out a couple minutes ago, and we'll get going from there. Okay, I'm back. Nice frosty barrel here. I'm going to put the anti-seize on the barrel shank, slide it into place, hopefully get it in pretty easily. Probably have to tap it a little bit. Oh, another note: when you're removing the finish out of here, remember, aluminum's a very soft metal. You want to do that lightly. I'm sure the steel part of this brush will gouge the aluminum. I wouldn't be surprised if the bronze would also. And apologies up front if I get the video outside of the camera. My focus is going to be on my nice barrel. Excuse me, not on making this video. You can kind of see how cold it is, frosted up. Okay, that's gooey. Okay, got the anti-seize in place. Here comes the moment of truth. It's not so hard to get it started. There we go. Okay. Getting a little resistance there. We're getting there. Just nice and easy, nice and slow. Don't need to rush this. Got all night. My hand is really cold. Okay, we're made it up. You can see the anti-seize kind of squirted out. That really wasn't too bad. It'll be interesting to see. I might have to stick this in a vise to index the receiver correctly. It's pretty easy to see that we are way off right now. Once you get the barrel in the receiver, then you need to check alignment to make sure that the extractor on the bolt is going to line up with this extraction groove here in the barrel. You want to make sure you get good alignment, otherwise you'll get unreliable feeding in your rifle. The directions that came with the barrel tell you to take a level and put it on the receiver and then check it by putting the level in the slot that's for the V block. I found that in my barrel that didn't work for me. To check alignment of the barrel and the bolt, you're going to get the bolt out. Here's the extractor there, and that's supposed to slide into the slot. It's very hard to show it on camera. You can see how the extractor needs to fit into that slot, and the extractor needs to fit into the middle of the slot. And if you don't, and it's important to get it there so that so that the gun will feed and extract reliably. You don't want the bolt banging the edge of the barrel with the extractor as the bolt slams home. What I had to do was hold the receiver in one hand and the barrel in the other, and maybe even with a hot pad or something to grip it, and then twist. And of course, the barrel wouldn't twist just a little bit. I'd have to twist, and it'd twist a lot. And I found that once it was twisting, you could go back and hopefully you get it lined up. A little bit of trial and error, and I was there. I think the anti-seize that's on the shank of this barrel really helped with that alignment, making it a lot easier than it would have been. Again, it's very difficult to show that lineup. Another thing I did, probably unnecessary, but I wanted to be thorough, was to put the charging handle on and allow the bolt to move with the charging handle on, just in case the spring and the charging handle knocked it out of alignment just a little bit. After a little bit of adjustment, you can tell through just feeling it whether or not when the bolt closes, whether you're hitting that extractor and the extractor is opening. See, the bolt will close and the extractor will move out, away, and seat. Or what you don't want is that extractor to come in and then hit the slot and the bolt have to move and realign. You don't want to be beating up your barrel. You don't want to be beating up your extractor, and you definitely want to be feeding and extracting the ammunition reliably. Now I found that once the receiver was aligned, that the groove for the V block wasn't parallel with the receiver. So I'm going to stick with a lined up extractor over a V block that's a little out of position. I'm going to go ahead and install the V block. I'm actually shooting this out of order on the video, so I won't be talking about this on the summary. Bought this off of Amazon, torque driver. Say what you will about whether or not you need one of these. I've actually found them to be very useful for installing scopes and whatnot. Actually, so here's the V block. Near as I can tell, it doesn't have really top or bottom. Sure, somebody will correct me if I'm mistaken, which is just fine. I'd love to know. There are many people out there who know a whole lot more about these rifles than I do. I bought the receiver when I was into silver stainless. Now, the receiver is aluminum, so it doesn't really matter, you know, if you get a black one or a silver one. 10 inch-pounds is actually the lowest setting on the torque wrench. Yeah, and this is this is almost no torque at all. Be very easy to over torque, or excuse me, add more than 10 inch-pounds of torque to this V block. Well, we're going to wrap it up. The Kid 20-inch straight taper match barrel mated into the receiver. Looks like everything's going to be fine. Used a bore brush. This is a M16 Air 15 chamber bore brush to clean up the finish inside of the in the receiver, so the barrel could mate up, and also right here, pull the finish off of this lug here. Put the barrel in the deep freeze so it was cold. Used anti-seize to get it started and to help it move in and index correctly. Heavy mallet to tap on the end of the receiver to get it in. A little level to make sure that the barrel and the receiver were both in the same plane. And used the gun cradle up here to hold everything together while I was working on that, and needed this leather hot pad to get a grip onto the barrel to help index that correctly. Just for comparison, here is the 22-inch sporter barrel that this rifle originally wore. So I was getting about 2.5-inch groups using some of the bulk ammo at 50 yards with this barrel. Not really that impressive. I didn't take the time to bet the gun, the action of the gun, but I just went straight to the barrel here, the kid match barrel. Be following up this video with finishing the stock. I got a Boyd's tactical stock, unfinished from Midway. Gonna finish that up, build this rifle up, and complete the build, and then we'll do some accuracy testing. And we're gonna put this 1022. We're gonna go head to head with my Savage BTV LSS in the accuracy testing, and we'll see how everything comes up. Barrel was quite cold when it came out of the deep freeze. That helped. Also made your hand really cold. I did not put the receiver in the oven to heat it up. Did not need to do that, and I was worried about being able to hold it. The other thing is that this is an aluminum receiver. It's going to cool off really fast, so that's another reason why I didn't do it. And the big thing with this, well, you're going to have to get the V-block in to hold the barrel in place, so you want that lined up correctly. And then make sure your extractor slot here is lined up. I'm going to use a torque wrench and torque this down to kids specified 10 inch-pounds to when I install the V-block to keep everything in place. Right now the barrel is locked up very tight. Anyway, I wanted to thank you for watching. Other videos on my channel unrelated to this 1022 build, and thanks a lot.